Hey guys, I hope that you're all doing super well during these insane times. I know that most of you guys have to work from home, but don't think of it as a bad thing. Like, think of it as a great thing, being able to connect with the people around you, with yourself. I don't know if you're like maybe living by yourself or if you're living with people. It can be a little bit tricky if you're living with people, but I think it's still a good test because pretty much like, in my opinion, I think how we relate to other people says a lot about how we relate to ourselves. So like, if you're struggling, you're having some hard times with other people, kind of bring it back to yourself and realize, like, you know, maybe this is a time to use the mirroring as a device to understand yourself better. But yeah, so today I put together a time lapse that I did actually I want to say 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And like you all know, I paint from a really subconscious place. So kind of, I just let the lines flow, and afterwards I look at the drawing that I made and I'm like, okay, what is this about? And in this case, it reminded me of a cartoon that I watched when I was a little kid. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's called Courage the Cowardly Dog. I actually had to Google it. I was like, I remember that it was like a purple dog. Even though my drawing, it actually doesn't look anything like it, but it reminded me of like the expression and the intense, vivid colors reminded me of that cartoon. And that's a scary cartoon. I don't know if you guys watched it, but like that shit was really crazy. And I mean, like, I don't even know how that's allowed for kids to watch, because it was really, it's like horror cartoon, you know, and the colors are just really spooky. Till this day I still remember the color scheme of that cartoon. But yeah, so the drawing doesn't have the same color scheme, but something about it reminds me of it, and I hope that maybe you guys can see the reference as well. But yeah, I definitely made the reference after the drawing, you know, and it's interesting because I actually made like 4 drawings that same session. I just kind of like one like I created one and then I made another one, like one after the other. And sometimes I have days like that where I just like have so much inspiration and I just want to get it out. And that was definitely one of those days. But it's interesting because all of the drawings kind of like I use totally different color schemes, totally different, like they look so different, but for some reason they're all kind of like expressing this like frustration. And I think that it really reflects what we're going through. And I even think that it's kind of interesting just thinking of the title, you know, The Cowardly Dog, you know, and just thinking about what we're going through. I don't know. I like to keep my titles really vague as long as it kind of makes you like think a little bit, like, wait, what am I trying to say? And I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I think my subconscious is trying to say something, and so I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, here you guys go. You can see like the time lapse now. Drawing, that's the completed piece. And I just wanted to add a little comment about something that I've learned through all these diary entries that I'm doing. I literally make like drawings every single day. And something that I've kind of taken note of is just how not important it is for perfection. And when you're working, you really don't need to make everything perfect. Don't worry about the brush strokes and like the blending being completely perfect. It's not about that. It's really just about capturing a moment, capturing an emotion, capturing a feeling that you have, or you know, maybe you're feeling frustrated, maybe you're feeling happy. You just want to capture that. And that has nothing to do with perfection, right? Because feelings are not perfect. So yeah, I mean, if you look at the drawing that I did, you can see that I didn't care about blending it perfectly. Some places are more blended, yeah, and other places are just kind of piled on there. I also like to think of a piece of artwork in a similar way as a song, right? You have some areas that, like some moments in a song that is faster or louder, or like there's an acceleration, and then there's also like, yeah, what's the opposite of acceleration? The opposite, whatever. You know what I mean? So you want to have different variation in a piece of artwork to capture the viewer's attention. Like, you know, so some places can be smoother and other places can be rougher. You don't want the whole thing to be consistent. So that's something that I've just been discovering as I go more. It's like the fact that actually imperfection is what makes a piece more powerful and more strong, like more emotional. I just want to share that with you guys. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful rest of your quarantine. I will continue to make more of these videos. I actually have a ton of time lapses I never really posted anywhere, so I'll be posting more of them on Patreon because I don't always want to do like a longer video, but yeah, I'll do my best to post a couple at least on YouTube every month and then a bunch on Patreon. Anyways, ciao!